Cominciamo dalla...
Hai visto l'entrata?
We start with the condition, we start with Levi sailing, it's down at the point, and then let me introduce you to one of the most technical person in the business, Mr. Ferdinando Loffreda. Ciao Ferdi,
Ciao,
come stai?
benissimo, facciamo in inglese o italiano?
No, inglese, yes. Okay,
So,
I haven't given you a question, right?
lo metto qua.
I think we go back and forth.
Ok.
Okay, so basically we are finished with the La Classic, and you've been very concentrated on training your two athletes.
Yeah.
And so I've seen you very busy for like over 15 days. Now you're a bit more relaxed, and we can discuss a bit the technical contents of the La Classic. But first of all, let me comment on your own performance there.
My performance wasn't that good because the conditions they were pretty complicated for production boards. On those conditions, you need custom boards with very sharp rails, and actually to do the bottom turn and have still speed on a top turn, you really need a board. Conditions, and they were like pretty big size of wave, but it's not that doesn't really matter. What really matters is when you do the bottom turn, the board is supposed to go up like almost 90 degrees. Some boards they do more, and Kailani show us that with an unbelievable board. And yeah, my performance wasn't that good because my boards they weren't working well. And before the first few days it was smaller, I could do something in the Masters, which I lost for half a point, and I couldn't make it even in the semi-final. So I would say negative, like my performance here wasn't good at all.
Okay, let's talk about your athletes. What do you think about their performance? Are you satisfied?
I have a 2.5, let's say, because the winner has something to do with me, the winner of the contest. But Jake Shetty, he had an amazing performance. He totally killed the games on a youth division, and in the pro division, he did pretty good. He passed the first heat, and on the second heat, for me, he was third. They put him fourth. He's always very consistent. He will do 3 to 4 turns, which is connection and reconnection. Bottom and top is one. So when you do 2 or 3 of that, means you are on the drive or wave riding, and that is what he has. Which he has also he's really good at finishing the wave, either with an aerial or a 360. I will say his performance from 0 to 10 was a good 8, and I'm very satisfied, happy, and proud of my Jake Shetty. About Morgan Noiro, well, in Italiano we say la legge dei grandi numeri, which means the law of the big numbers. He won 2 years ago, he won last year. For the law of the big numbers, it was, almost normal he wouldn't win this year. I have to say about the boards, well, his performance when he was in the final of the in his heat was it I would say that Kevin Fisher did really good, but he was going vertical after the bottom turn. He would go right to like 12 o'clock on a top turn. And Morgan, no, actually, he didn't really find a good wave, but he couldn't really go very vertical, and that made him a little unstable. I would say if he had a better board, he would perform better. We're talking about very small, very little things, and they make a big change. Why? Because these guys, they're all high performance, high level, and they are very evolved athletes. So a minimum thing will make a big difference. I have to say again that he did well anyway. He got, I think, 6th or 7th. The level was very high, the waves were very big, and he didn't really got these waves, and never really happens that someone actually never happened that someone won the Aloha Classic back to back, which means 1 year, 2 years in a row. So I would say his performance was decent. It could be better. It could get better only if you had a different type of board for those days.
Just a quick question on concerning Kevin. I know Kevin sometimes comes up with questions for you. What was your strategy for him this year?
Okay, Kevin. I trained Kevin for a while. Not this year, but the year before. He lost lots of weight and he was way more dynamic. His style. I told him to work more on the length of the board, like to go very front forward on a bottom turn and very way back on the top turn. His performance they get better. He's an amazing rider his knowledge of windsurfing is 360 degrees, but 740 actually. But in that case, Kevin was really good with the big waves. I knew on a single elimination, and there was nothing really much to say to him because he knew how to do the big waves with the big hits. His opponents, they were riding pretty good, decent, but they didn't land their tricks like the Brazilian and the other guys. They didn't really do well on the things, and they are really good at it. So a big wave with consistent turns and a huge hit like Kevin did on the final of the single, I was sure he would make it. On the double elimination, Kevin told me he had a bad week because he was telling me that the waves they were getting smaller and the wind stronger, and here we go, we have in the final Brausinho, which that condition usually kills it. But in the final, he did well in the semi-final with Levi. He was pretty consistent. He did well his jumps and his tricks, rotations. Also pretty good on bottom and top turns. But that was only the semi-final. When he got into the final, he got really good score on a good wave. He won the first of the double elimination, the first final. When they went on the super final, what I think, this is my opinion, he was doing too much. And on the other side, here we go, we have a Kevin, very relaxed, doing his things. What I told him to do on the single elimination was just have a big hit and have fun riding. On the double elimination, it was critical because Brausinho could do anything, everything. And happened the opposite. I mean, Kevin did all the things he had to do, long waves and hits. And Brausinho went there and started to throw all these takas, but at the very end, Kevin won with a beautiful wave, which I judged that wave an 8, and the judges, they give him an 8/5. I was very happy. I'm Kevin's friend, so every time there is something going on, we talk about strategy. The most important is always to have a clear connection, bottom and top turns, and a hit. What he did in the last wave was amazing because he had 2 aerials, he had an aerial one end, he started with a nice top turn, then a big aerial, then another turn, and then an aerial one end, which gave him 8, and he needed 774, I think. I was watching there on top on the judges tower, so I was checking the score they would give them to him. And I really think the one who deserved the most is Kevin Fisher. I've been on American Windsurfing Tour since 2011, and the guy that is always in the water, sailing before everyone, sailing 2-3 times in one day. We went to Santa Cruz, to Gold Beach, Oregon. We went to Mexico, to Peru, to Cape Hatteras. He was always there, ready for his heat. Never complain, never say anything to the judges, no matter if he would do good or bad. Here we go. Here we have rider, but the base, the roots, is a real athlete because he will perform at the maximum he can. He will also give 100%, be all over United States, South America for the AWT, and insist. And finally, he got the Aloha Classic. I'm very happy for him. I'm his friend since a long time, and I was cheering for him. Brausinho is very young. He can win so many other years.
Just one quick last comment on who impressed you the most and why.
The guy who impressed me the most was Kai Landy. Amazing, eclectic rider. Anything he can ride with a door in the water. But amazing because he didn't sail that much and his performance was very high. He got the perfect tank. I have to say he was really good. He was very focused, intense. His turns, they were amazing. I saw some waves with a 4 rail to rail bottom top turn aerial, like 4 in one wave, which he didn't do only that, he did also some aerials and some other turns. So his performance really impressed me. Another one that I really like and is the unpredictable is Ben Rodiger. I love him. I saw him since he was really young, and every time he goes on the wave, you never know what he will do. It's very unpredictable. So I would say who impressed me the most was Kailani, which he wasn't here for the double elimination. They said, the judges, they said that we wouldn't run anything, but then at the end of the week we got this perfect day on Sunday, and he wasn't here. Probably he went to do some other contest in Fiji, so he could really climb all the way. So in this case we have someone really good with an amazing board. I would say he didn't have a board, he had a Ferrari.
Okay, well, Ferdinando, grazie, thank you very much.
Facciamo in inglese, in italiano.
Yes, we hope to see you well soon performing better, but you still have performed very well on the AWT overall, haven't you?
On the Masters. I have to say that right before the contest, I had some really good session, very consistent, and I was. By the contest, we have to say another thing. The contest is that moment that you are in the water. There are those 20 minutes, and in 20 minutes you never know what can happen. Sometimes you can win with one turn and one aerial because the other guys they didn't get outside. So I have to say next year, next AWT, I will push more. I will definitely get a different board, a custom board, which I need, and that's it. I mean, we are here every day. We train. We go in the water every day. Sometimes people they think, oh, masters. Well, Jeff Anderson, Kai Cacciadorian, Josh Stone, they are in the water every day with me, with Kevin Pritchard, 3-4 hours a day. So when you say master division, well, it's very high level. It's a pro division without the very youngest one. So, and you never know what happened in the moment. There were some other years that I did well, and some contests in Cape Hatteras. I got the podium in the pros, and I won the title on the Masters 3 years in a row. This year I got second. When you get second, it's beautiful because it's challenging. It's like the nature is telling you, okay, you have to still be here and try to perform more because you got second. You know, people then they win. Sometimes they say, okay, I'm gonna quit. I'm not gonna compete anymore. I get that as a challenge, and every time you have a bad result on an injury, it's kind of like inspiring to do more, to go in the water more. We do this for passion. So
I promise last question is on the winner of the Master Division AWT of the Aloha Classic, Jeff, right? Jeff Albright?
no, that's the overall.
No, the overall. Okay. Yeah,
The
comment
Hookipa.
on- Yeah,
The
who won the Hookipa?
Hookipa was Pascal Lar.
Okay, comment on Jeff. What do you think of Jeff as a sailor?
Very efficient sailor, always present everywhere. He lives in Oregon, in Portland, and
He's a doctor, no? Surgeon?
yeah. Actually, when I was in Mexico, I got 4 stitches under my foot, and he was the one that took care of me. I'm friend with him since long time, since 2011. Very positive guy, always present, always competing. He totally deserved it. In Mexico was his best performance, definitely. He won in the Masters and won in the Amateurs, so I was very happy to see him winning the Master this year. I'm gonna be there next year competing with him. On the Hookipa contest was Pascal Ardi. He was sailing like top riders, top 5. I saw his hit on the final, consistent bottom top turn on almost a 6 feet wave. I mean, Hawaiian foot, which is a must-eye. A deep bottom turn, rail to rail on a top turn, 3 times like that with an aerial on the final. I mean, he can beat anyone with those turns. In fact, he got first. I think Jeff Anderson was second, and Sean Aiken. Sean Aiken also a really good guy. I used to be friends with him a long time ago, and we competed together in Oregon, everywhere in Hookipa. I like him. He's a very technical guy, Sean Aiken. Jeff Anderson is in the water every day with me at Camp 1 or Hookipa. He doesn't come very much to Hookipa, but he's in the water every day. So I like that podium. They were all really good at Hookipa, and congratulations to Jeff Albright for his winning on the Masters. Let's see him next